All right, perfect. Thank you all for coming out. My name's Cody Clark. I'm the media coordinator of media relations here at Delta State. Appreciate you coming out for the weekly coaches press conference. We will start with men's basketball. Head coach Mike Nienaber, the Statesmen, split a pair of games against West Florida and Valdosta, raced a 15-point lead in a win against West Florida here in Cleveland, and then fell by 5 to the number 13 team in the country, Valdosta State. This week, the Statesmen are at Mississippi College on Thursday and then at Auburn Montgomery on Saturday. So with that, we'll bring up Coach Nienaber. He'll make an opening statement about the games and then take any questions that you all have.
Well, all in all, it's a pretty good week. The West Florida win was, I think, reflecting on it, I think it's probably our best win of the year. They're over 500 in the league and having a pretty good year. So that was a quality win for us, and coming from behind. We came from behind both games. It'd be nice if we'd quit getting that far behind, but and then the Valdosta game obviously was a game that we had our chances, and really you just look at it, missed free throws. We just had a really rough time at the foul line. The fact that we got there as much as we did, not quite as much as they did, but the fact that we got to the foul line as much as we did is a positive thing, and that was the thing I played up with the guys after that game is, when you have an offensive possession, you get to the foul line, you get the ball inside, your guy gets fouled, that's a positive offensive possession. Now, when you miss both free throws, it's not totally positive, but as far as execution, and the thing I always stress with the guy, nobody's trying to miss free throws. If you take a good shot and it doesn't go in, whether it's an open three, or a free throw, as long as you're getting good shots and doing what you're supposed to do from an execution standpoint, especially with a young team, I can live with that. So it was, I think, probably looking back on it and looking back on the season from where we are right now, it's probably our best week of the season as far as how we played and against the caliber of teams we were playing. So hopefully we can carry that into these last 2 weeks, and obviously, it's always tough on the road. Mississippi College is a big game. They're going to be up for us. But they're winnable games. I think if we play the way we played last week, these next 2 weeks, then we've got a real fighting chance to run, to win out. And if we do that, we're not mathematically out. So we still have a shot. Some other thing we're going to need help. But, those other teams have tough games too. So, we're still within range, and one thing's for sure, if we don't win, we're not getting in. So we just got to take care of our business and let the chips fall where they may.
How do you get your players to kind of not look at the standings and just worry about the next game?
I think some of us that have been around and following, I think some of us look at it more than they do. I've seen players sometimes and gone against guys and had my players tell me, those guys don't even know what this, Like I've had players that really follow it, and I try to keep my guys focused on it. I want them to know how important a game is, and going in, we talked about it before the West Florida game. We said, hey, if we had won against Valdosta, we would have had control of our destiny. But before we played Valdosta, I said, hey, if we don't beat West Florida, it ain't gonna matter. So we talked about it very openly that the West Florida game was kind of our first playoff game, that we had to win that game to give ourselves a chance. And then, before the Valdosta game, we said, hey, this is like a conference tournament playing game. We put ourselves in that position. So we're pretty upfront about it, and we will be this week too, to say, hey, we still have a shot, but the other side of it is we just want to win. We want to win these last 3 games, and we want to be able to go into the offseason saying, hey, we won 4 of our last, if we don't make it, say, hey, we won 4 of our last 5 games. And it's very doable. The way we played last week, if we continue to improve, continue to bring the intensity that we've played with the last 3 games, I think it's a very doable thing.
You guys have struggled on the road all year, conference, out of conference. Yeah. Now the biggest games of the year on the road. Talk about the testament to your team to be able to kind of gut out some road wins.
Well, and a lot of the struggles on the road have been that we have really played some of the better teams in the league on the road. Not that doesn't answer all of it, but if you look at it, I mean, we're playing 2 teams. I guess maybe the positive thing we can put on this, 2 teams we're playing on the road this week we have beaten. And a lot of those other teams, when we were playing them, we either hadn't played them yet or we we lost to them at home. So it's kind of tough when you lose a game at home to turn around and go play the same team on the road. But there's no doubt, and all you got to do is look around college basketball all over the country, and it's harder to win on the road. It doesn't seem like the baskets are still 10 feet, but it's just tough. And a lot of times when you're traveling in the road and just the wear and tear physically, takes its toll. But you hope that you just kind of just focus on the individual game and the individual play. We talk a lot of times about, hey, get to the first timeout, get to the first media timeout, and win that first little segment, that first little mini quarter, and kind of go like that, and not worry so much about whether you're home or away. But there's no doubt we obviously, I guess we won at Lemoyne-Owen, which was a really good road win. And little did I know that it would be. We're still looking for that second one, but but we're going to keep battling.
What was against the Valdosta, between the first time y'all faced them and this time? What were some of the things that y'all did against Valdosta this type of round that you were really pleased?
Well, the first time we played them, we did the same thing we did Saturday for about the first 16 minutes. We were right there. We were playing the game plan that we put in, which was to be patient on offense, because all you got to do is look at their numbers. We talked about it earlier. It was mentioned that they're averaging over 90 points a game, and we held them to 72, and they got like 6 in the last 30 seconds when we were fouling, to try to win. And so they got 6 points in a matter of 30 seconds at the foul line. But the two big things: number one, take care of the ball, be patient with the ball. The longer we're on offense, the less we had to play defense against them. So I think that's a key for us against most teams, but it's major against Valdosta. And then the second thing is get back. And we did a better job, and of course we had the film from the first game to show us having them just run past. It felt like at times at Valdosta, that game, that I was standing in front of a tidal wave. I mean, it's just like they were just coming at us. But a lot of times when that happened, it's when we took a quick three or we turned the ball over, and we did a better job. Now, we had some stretches Saturday too where when they got that lead Saturday, we had like 4 or 5 possessions in a row where we turned the ball over, and we went from like a 4-point game to a 13, 14-point game. And it was, boom, 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 turnover, 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 layup, layup. So, barring that stretch, and the good thing was it looked like maybe it was getting ready to go to 25 or 30. And we righted the ship and hung in there and obviously battled back and took a lead there briefly. And if we could have just made some free throws, frustrating that we didn't, but, we had our chances and it just didn't happen.
Following up that, though, you talk about you could have gone up to 25 points or more. You held them to just 15. Talk about the defensive effort in that stretch when you weren't making those shots.
Our defense the last week and a half, and I would say from about really going back to the Union game, and I think there was a couple things that really kind of led to this. Number one, the Christian Brothers game, which is so near and dear to me, we played the worst defense that we've played all year that night. So coming off of that game and being so frustrated with how we played defensively, we made some decisions about what we were doing, and probably the most important thing about that is Michael Motley. And Mike has not been playing. There was different things that kind of contributed to Mike's limited minutes during the course of the year. He hit a stretch there where he was injured, and he kind of fell behind, and he had some struggles on the offensive end. He's always been potentially one of our better defensive players. And the Union game at Union, we put him on one of the best players in the league. And he didn't get in that game until we were down in that game and fought back. He didn't get into that probably till about 10 minutes into the game, but he locked their guard up. That's one of the leading scorers in the league. And then the West Florida game, he's going against one of the best scorers, guy averaging 20 points a game. The guy gets 5 points. And Saturday, once again, Mike was on one of their better players. And then the other guy I need to mention is Sav, because he came in that game, and Mike and Aaron both got in foul trouble. And when Mike had to come out, we had to put Sav on their main guy, and Sav did a great job. you know, for the minutes he played. He's not shooting as much as the other guys, but he does a job defensively and rebounding, and that was a big factor in how much better our defense has been in these last 3 games.
Coach, how important is it to have those type of guys that you know you can put on the best player, and then that kind of allows everyone else to elevate their game?
Well, it's always important, and then when you're playing basically, and some people have figured it out and some people haven't, but when you're playing a triangle and 2, which is what it looks like man-to-man when you're watching us, but about 75-80% of this season we have been playing triangle and 2, and and you know, like if you go on the Synergy site where they break our films down and stuff, it'll say we're playing man-to-man. But we've got 3 guys playing a very loose, switching, triangular zone on 3 guys, and allowing, you know, trying to not let their best 2 players beat us. And we've done you know, most of the wins we've had, it's been really a big factor. In some of the games like we've had here where we stayed close, we've done a pretty good job limiting the other team's best players. Good. Thank you.